is what you got for me.
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Spurs of the Moment. And you guys know what time it is by now. Everything Tottenham. We're going to be covering here right now over on Durag Diaries. Sorry, I know the setup's a little bit... I'm doing a lot right now. I've got so many screens open. So just patterning things up. But we are here. We are here to discuss Champions League this week. Also, how could we not forget the loss at the weekend? We're going to discuss in a little bit more detail, a bit more on my points, so I can expand on some of the, I suppose, outrage is the easiest way to put it. We've got a bit of outrage going on in our fan base as Spurs fans. Do you lose a couple games and everyone all of a sudden starts to feel entitled and starts to feel like we should be top of the league or something like that. So I don't actually know what is wrong with Spurs fans at this moment in time, but hey, it is what it is. Big up to everyone that's inside right now, nice and early. We've got 7 people in the building. Big up to Kays, big up to Blacker, big up to Ghosted, and yeah, big up to the people inside, man, for real. Make sure you smash the likes every single time. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, because yeah, man, look, we're getting the consistency back. We're live most days of the week. We do have a new show debuting. It's either going to be next week or the week after. I'm not going to give you too much detail, but we will have a new guest and a new 1v1 show with another rival. So we're going to try to do a few more shows like the North Divide, because I know the channel loves it. I know the channel loves the one-to-ones when we're going a bit back and forth pause, but we're going to have more shows like that coming throughout the week. So just look out for those. Boardroom talks, obviously we bring it as and when, because it's a Champions League week. It's a bit difficult because Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, football's on, everybody wants to watch. So yes, there will be some delays with that. Frosty, I am working on that. Do you know what? Yeah, I am working on that. But I generally just... Do you know what? You have to remember, yeah, a lot of time gets taken up with life outside of YouTube. So as much as I try to give you guys content all the time and trying to, expand different content and do all this, there's only so much hours I have in a day, and I've got to balance that between everything. So, yes, I'm going to get around to that eventually, as I've been promising for the past couple months. But it will be done. It will be done. Big up to Frosty, though. Big up to Letty as well in the building. Big up to Letty. What's up, everyone? But yeah, look, how could I forget? You know, wait, let me pin this, because obviously I know some people might want to become members. Because if you do want to become a member, you just have to go to the pinned comment, tap that link, and you can become a delinquent, become a descendant, join the Royal Navy now. Yeah, you see, we got the Royal Navy blue right there, so you guys can join the team now. But yes, Eric Dyer Derby coming up. So technically, I believe Eric Dyer is injured for this game. I'm pretty sure he's out, so we will not see the return of Eric Dyer in this game in particular. But hey, look, we may see him later on in the season if we end up drawing Monaco again. But look, shout out to Eric Dyer, man. I can't say he was one of my favorite players. I enjoyed him during the time of Pochettino, but post-Pochettino was one of the most frustrating players to watch, because it was very easy and clear to see that he wasn't a centre-back made for Premier League football. But we had to endure it anyway. So Dyer will not be playing. He is injured. You are right about that, Ghosted. I think it's just a niggle or knock that he picked up a few days ago. But we are going to be coming up against a fairly good Monaco side. But we're going to go into some of the Monaco stuff a bit later. We're going to stick here. Let's focus on what happened over the weekend, which was a 2-1 loss to Aston Villa at home. Goals conceded to Buendia and Morgan Rogers on the 37th and 77th minute. Two absolute bangers. And that's me to say the least, isn't it? Because if that was Xavi Simons scoring one of those goals, I would have been dancing, flexing, throwing up all the shit that I could have been throwing up. But it was Morgan Rogers, Emiliano, Buendia, and Rodrigo Bentancur put it in the back of the net for us. And for him, let's talk about what the biggest problem in that game was. Ultimately, I think it was a fairly even game. You can probably look at some of the stats. Let me get it up here on SofaScore. If you look at the underlying metrics, you would see that the possession was fairly even, 50-47. Tottenham had a little bit more possession. When you talk about big chances, we had 3 big chances in that game. They didn't have any. So I think it's fair to say that we created the best chances, but didn't take advantage of those, which I would say probably, I think Tell missed one big chance. Mawani missed one big chance. And I can't quite pin where the other big chance was, but I do know those two were those. One of them. Away from that, we had 10 shots, they had 8. And then look, just some of the other stuff. It was a very even game. That was my point in bringing up the stats. It's a very even game. I don't think that Aston Villa deserved it as much as some rivals and some negative Spurs fans think. When you actually look at how the game played out, I'd go as far to say they didn't create any clear-cut opportunities, and I think defensively we were really strong. Van der Ven and Dan saw the partnership look good. Didn't really give up too much at the back. The only problem where we did have was building out from the back. And that's where my biggest gripe lies with Thomas Frank, because Thomas Frank saw what happened at Bournemouth. He saw what happened in that game when you start a double pivot against a team that is... What is this on my eye? All right, I got some glitter or some shit, bro. There we go. We see what happens when you start a double pivot of Bentancur and Paulinho against a team that has high pressing intensity and presses with a front three. We've seen what happened. Now, in games against teams that are going to be possessionally dominant, it makes sense to have 2 defensive midfielders in a double pivot who are just going to break the game down and move the ball outside and sort of keep the ball ticking, just moving it out wide, getting it to the wingers, get focused on the wing play. That's fine in a game against the big teams, as Thomas Frank saw for Brentford his whole career. In a lot of games against the big teams, that works, because you can focus on the wing play. And if you have good wingers, you're going to be able to focus on just beating the fullbacks and overloading out on those wider areas. Now, in games where we're going up against teams that are pretty much very even with us, we can't go with such a defensive midfield. I said when we were doing our match preview, and I remember telling you guys, and sort of we were discussing together, I should say, who should we do in the midfield? The one person that it couldn't be was Ben 10. It couldn't be Ben 10 because he has... And do you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that Bentancur had a bad game, because he generally didn't have a bad game individually. It's not like he was terrible, he kept losing the ball or anything like that. The problem is that we played with 2 players who kept passing side to side to side to side. Let me get up the do you know what? I didn't even have to get up the passing graph, because I'm sure many of you would have been in the North Divide yesterday where I showed the passing graph that pretty much identified why Xavi Simons had a bad game and why the midfield looked bad as a whole. When the midfielders got on the ball, they kept going side to side and no one really played the ball directly through the middle. Xavi Simons floats in the pockets. If you do not have a central midfielder that's going to progress the ball into the pocket, which I literally has to play through a line, you have to break a line to get the ball in the pocket. If we don't have nobody willing to take those risks, Xavi Simons is never going to be able to have an impact in the game. And that's where one of the biggest problems we had over the weekend was. Now, Kamara done a really good job of sort of shutting Simons out of the game, shadowing him, and just following him around the pitch. So defensively was really sound, won quite a few of his tackles, and was just a nuisance throughout the game. So I think Kamara done really well to sort of shadow him and you know, be around him to stop the opportunity for the pass. But at the same time, you would expect some of your midfielders to be a bit more risk adverse and take that risk in passing through, if not driving through the lines. Now, I feel like in the next game, we're going to see a change of this midfield, and it's probably going to revert to either Bergvall or Sarr. Whichever one it is, just throw them in there. I just think we need to see something different. Bentancur's had a few games now where he's having this problem of playing through the lines, and it just seems to be he's not the player before his injury. The injury has killed him. It's killed some of the confidence that he had on the ball. He's no longer willing to drive through the lines, no longer willing to be that attacking threat that he was just before his injury when he was picking up a few goals. He's no longer that player that can be relied upon offensively. So defensively, really good. And I would bring Bentancur on in a lot of games to slow the game down or to help us see out a game. But starting games against teams at the same level, I just don't think it makes sense. Let me know what you guys thought of the midfield on the weekend. Was it Bentancur's issue? Was it Paulinho? Because Paulinho was doing the same thing, but in Paulinho's defense, I think he done really well defensively. Like when you look at Bentancur, he had a few clearances, a few recoveries. You know, he won most of his ground duels and so on. But Paulinho was just a beast when it comes to the defensive side of the game. Every time I saw him in the midfield, making a tackle, sweeping up, recovering, being that guy that just anchors our midfield, you know. He had 6 out of 10 tackles won, 2 interceptions, 10 ground duels won. Like, the guy was all over the place in this, and he generally is most games. So he's been brought in and he's doing the job that he was brought in for. But Bentancur needs to now elevate his game to bring some balance to what we already have in our midfield. Before we had Paulinho, I get Bentancur do this job. It's fine. But now Paulinho's here, I don't need you to do the same job. Man, am I doing the Spider-Man meme? Just like, oh, what? Me? To me? To you? To... That's what they're doing. Man, am I doing the Spider-Man meme? Like, oh, we're doing the same job. Oh, what? You're going to do it? No, me. You. Oh, me. Like, what are we doing here? Well, what does man do? What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? It doesn't make no sense. It's poor decision making from Thomas Frank, and this is the one bit where I'm gonna shout out to Elijah because he called this out before, and I hear it. I totally hear it. We both made the point that I think the midfield, he was going to learn from that game. Clearly, he hasn't learned from that game as of yet. And I did see. Let me go onto my Twitter real quick, because I did see just something brief from him after the game, basically saying he felt like the midfield was good today. He felt like it was a good choice in the midfield and so on and so forth. Now, that was straight after the game. If he thinks straight after the game that was a midfield that was good, then cool, it's fine, straight after the game. But if he's thinking this after watching the game back today, to watch that back and think, yeah, you know what, that midfield done a great job over there, I would be definitely concerned. I will be concerned, because you cannot watch that back and think, yeah, that midfield done a really good job. You can't watch it back and think that. Now, away from them, I think Odobert had a fairly good game. I saw a few people saying he was the best player on the pitch and so on and so forth. I think they're probably over-exaggerating how good he is when they say he was the best player on the pitch. He done really well, sort of keep the ball, stay a bit tidy with it, complete most of his passes. But again, like what I expect from my wingers and my attacking players are them to cause problems in the final third. Did he cause problems in the final third? Yes and no. Again, I still think he's a little bit timid at times in creating those opportunities and being decisive in his decision-making. But there was a few times when he's beating his man, and if you look at the dribbles, he successfully took on 4 out of 5 of his dribbles. So he was beating his man, or I say he was dribbling with the ball effectively, I think it's better, because I didn't really see him take on his man and beat him sort of by getting past him down the wing in a 1v1. So I think it'd be harsh for me to say that he had a bad game. But I still feel like he's been. It's not underwhelming. It's just not enough. That is the problem. Like, we need more from our wingers. I need to see what Kudus was doing on his side. I need to see them do that on the other side. Because Kudus was a nuisance consistently all game, and I can see here that it said he had no dribbles completed, but from what I saw, he was running down the wing and crossing it in. Now, I don't know what defines as a successful dribble, in particular, because from what I saw, he successfully completed his dribble and crossed the ball in. That's a successful dribble. But do you know what? Semantics in here don't really matter. Big up to views every single time. Big up to my bro. Jords, Benscore needs to be upgraded, bro. So does Vicario. Why do people keep saying Vicario needs to be upgraded? What would Vicario do to save us in those games? Nothing. The only difference that it makes is you add a goalkeeper that is better from playing out from the back. But then how bad is their shot stopping going to be? Because there's plenty of games that I'm watching Vicario and I'm saying he's saving us. Vicario does not need to be upgraded on. People keep talking about Vicario, he needs upgrade. No, we've got Kinski. He's coming through as another option. If Kinski, because Kinski's better than him with the ball at his feet. If they want to throw Kinski in goal, and you guys can see how it plays out when, you know, he's dropping the ball and his hands aren't as good as his feet, then that's how it's going to play out, because it's the same thing for Ederson. Anybody that's rated Ederson over the last 10 years has to quickly realize that he made a lot of mistakes with his hands, dropped the ball a lot of the times, put Man City in a lot of situations, but because of how good he was with his feet, it was fine, because he would start a lot of attacks on them. He would keep the ball, sort of keep the ball moving. He can punch the ball down the middle and then they would break. So for them, that's fine. But for Tottenham, we don't need a goalkeeper that's going to punch it down the middle, because he's going to get to Bentancur and he's going to pass it sideways anyway. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, come on, man. Left wing and striker are major problems at the moment, and our boy Xavi needs to do more. Our boy Xavi needs to do a lot more. And I'm going to go into a bit more detail regarding him and why I think he hasn't performed so much as so far. But I'm still been like, I wouldn't say impressed. I'm still been content with how he has been. I don't necessarily think Xavi is one of the standout poor players whenever I've watched him. Like, he didn't really get into the game. The last game, he had 36 touches in the full game, but still with that, completed most of his passes, only had like 3 or 4 inaccurate passes and 1 unsuccessful dribble. But at the same time was still heavily involved defensively. It was getting stuck in. So I think he needs to do a bit more in the final third, need to get the ball to him a little bit more. But with number 10s, with these maverick type players, they need a lot of the ball, a lot of touches. There shouldn't be games where he's only getting 36 touches. Because then what do we expect from him? Or 32 touches, sorry. We're not really going to get the best out of him. You've got other players in the team, like Paulinho and Bentancur getting 70, 80 touches. We need players, our most important players, to be getting the most touches on the ball. So I would be expecting Xavi Simons to have a lot more than 32 touches in a game. And I think that will help him personally. Vicario now needs to be upgraded, Jords. I'm not calling for Kinski. I'm calling for a new goalkeeper. Yeah, but you're calling for a new goalkeeper, which is probably going to be similar to Kinski or Ederson type, because you want someone that plays out from the back with their feet, and you know, like their hands and their shot stopping is not going to be that good. That's what happens. Onana was good with his feet, was brought in because his feet were so good. How good was his shot stopping? I'd rather a goalkeeper that's bad with their feet and good with their hands. Like, we need to focus. We need to focus and concentrate on what the most important part of goalkeeping is. And that's keeping the ball out of the net, not kicking it to the players on the pitch. But Aki, I need the transfer window to open. Bro, we definitely need that to open. But facts, word to clue. For the last time, Jords, when are you going to, bro? There is. But I'm just, again, Wesley, I've not really been doing that much content. And like, I really haven't been doing that much content. And again, I haven't actually been seeing you in the chat that much, Wesley. Let's be honest. You haven't been showing up in the chat that much. And you haven't even once mentioned that it was for your daughter again. So we know that that was for lies. So for the learning quality purposes of your daughter, we are, or your imaginary, I should say, daughter. Tell her to come watch Durag Diaries and enjoy some of the content, and then we'll work on that in the future. You know what I mean? Nah, Jords, I just want a consistent goalkeeper. Forget all the cooking BS. We don't even play like that, bro. Vicario can't catch a ball. That's lies. That's like, what did Vicario do wrong at the weekend? I actually don't get what Vicario do. How are we sitting there saying Vicario can't catch? Bro, there was a last season, he improved his catching immensely. In the first season, he had the catching problem, but I haven't seen that be a consistent issue for a while now. We don't have problems with corners. It's not like we struggle on corners. So I don't get that. Like, how is he not consistent? What does Vicario do consistently? That's wrong. I generally need to understand that. But on to Xavi Simons. Like I said a bit earlier, we just need to see a little bit more from him. Now, I do think it's a case of he is lacking a bit of confidence, but he's a player whose confidence grows throughout good performances naturally. I mean, that's most players. But again, I think if you just keep playing him, he's going to play himself into confidence and into those performances. It's only been, I think 7 games for Xavi, if even that. Let me check how many games Xavi has played. Xavi Simons has played 8 games in total, but in those 8 games, he's been a sub in a couple. He's not even completed 10 games. He's not even completed 10 games, people. So, like, all these people that are going, oh, like, serious question, do we have a problem with Xavi, or was this a bad buy? Like, it's not even 10 games into the season. Let him actually fit in a little bit better with the team. Let him get used to the playing style. The team's still gelling as a whole with a lot of new faces in there. Plus, still think we're missing some of the key elements. Like someone said earlier, I think it might have been ghosted, that left wing position, that striker position. The 2 key areas for him to actually link his play is to have a striker that can link up with him and has a left winger that he actually bonds with and has some chemistry with. So I think that's the part to play in it as well, is our whole front line or our whole attacking fluidity just hasn't looked great. So yeah, I think Xavi Simons isn't to worry about, and Xavi Simons is going to pick up and get a lot better real soon. He saves a couple good shots here and there, but don't ever goalkeeper? No, not necessarily. I think there's a lot of goalkeeper that drop the ball every now and then, and don't make good saves, but he makes a lot of good saves. The guy never catches the ball, man. He never comes and takes the ball from corners. But we don't need him to necessarily. Like, not all the time you want your goalkeeper to come out and just body a corner, because there is like, you have Donnarumma who's going to do that, but Donnarumma's 6'5". He's like, the reason he starts for Italy is because he's so good. Like, he starts over Vicario. But I generally don't know what other goalkeepers you guys are going to talk about. Because if you guys can name me a goalkeeper that you know is definitely better, show me, tell me. But don't name me some goalkeepers that we know we're not going to get, like Donnarumma or Alisson or something, because that's just pointless. The ball went straight through the middle. Venom from Amazon for the first goal. Bro, do you guys know football? Do you guys actually know football? If you know football and you're telling me you're expecting to save that Morgan Rogers goal, you've lost your damn minds. You've lost your Morgan Rogers goal was like, that was elite, old school, throwback, fucking Ronaldo against Portsmouth settings. That was knuckleball straight. And I don't know if you guys have if you've played. There's a lot of people that do a lot of fun warrior shit. They're fun warriors. They don't actually get out on the pitch and play. If you've ever played and you've ever hit, even whether it's accidentally, because sometimes you just strike the ball and it knuckles, you know yourself, the goalkeepers usually don't save it because it moves in the air and it's quick. The ball's quick, unpredictable, and it moves. So whether it's straight at you or not, that's why you see a lot of the time someone could shoot from the edge of the area. It will be pretty much straight at the goalkeeper, but because of how it is, it will just drop in front of them and they miss it. Because the way the ball moves, it'll be in the air and then all of a sudden it'll just go bang. And as a goalkeeper, like, you can't react to that quick. So you gotta be realistic sometimes, man. Like, shit, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? I said 6'5". He's like 6'3", 6'2", 6'3". Sometimes don't believe what Google says in it, because Google has Odobert as 6 foot, and Odobert is nowhere near 6 foot. The guy's about 5'10". The Kudus, the Rodgers goal is unsavable. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Like, certain man don't know more. Certain man just don't know more. They think you could save that. Bro, wait. Do you guys actually think, if you guys think he could have saved that, you don't know ball? You don't know ball. Come on, man. Like, we just have to be serious. You know a bunch of the mouthiest people have this chest. I've never played football. That's the funniest thing, Kudos. Like, if you think he could have saved the Morgan Rogers one, you've never played ball. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Vicario is a B-Tech. Lloris probably better. You do know Lloris at his prime was the best goalkeeper in the league, or if not arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the league for a long while. As much, and he had a lot of mistakes in him. Lloris had mistakes in him, but was still one of the top goalkeepers in the league. De Gea, one of the best goalkeepers in the league for a long time, had mistakes in them. No goalkeeper's perfect. The only goalkeeper you can, and even Alisson has had mistakes in him. Alisson has had he's had big mistakes in big games. Ederson, let's not talk about his amount of mistakes. You know, what goalkeepers have come and gone? Raya don't really make mistakes. That's one goalkeeper who we actually identified and who we wanted prior to Vicario, to be fair. We tried to get Raya, weren't willing to pay the 35 million or whatever they wanted for him. So we just went a little bit cheaper. And yeah, Raya is probably the only goalkeeper that doesn't make that much mistakes, I'll be honest. But that's because Eric Lloris. And I think Vicario is pretty much the same. I don't think Vicario is bad at anything, barring, and his kicking is a lot better than Lloris's. Let's have that right. His kicking is a lot better than Lloris's. The only thing Vicario actually struggles in, like I say, is his catches from corners, but he's still got a lot better. Yes, I can play, and you know, was talking to Hooks about this yesterday. We're going to do a video and release on because people think that man's a dead baller. And people think that I can't strike the ball in them things. So I'm just going to have to show people, like, I actually can play. I'm not one of these scrubs that don't know how to kick a ball. Like, I ain't fucking academy level, innit? I ain't a top player. You're not gonna see me out. I'm at my desk talking to you guys most days, so I ain't that fit. I couldn't play a 90-minute game. Like, there's no chance. Don't let me play 11 aside either. Let me just do some drills. Let me show you guys the technique, and we can go from there. We back with the Durag Diaries. How about we talk about the fossil football? If you think it's fossil football, that's fine. Some people want attacking football. Go and watch Ange Postecoglou. Oh, sorry, wait, you can't, because Nottingham Forest sacked him. What did they do? Fossil football. They went back to fossil football, and if not, they went to the originator of fossil football, man, like Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche is walking into that dressing room and going, "Oi, mate, yeah, lads, we're gonna put no more of this boom bap shit in the changing room. I want you guys to listen up and listen clear. We're gonna put 10 men behind the ball. When we get on the ball, we're gonna go long. We're gonna hoof it up to Woody. Woody's gonna touch it down, and I want Callum and Ndoye. I want Ndoye to run down and Callum run down, support him, and you two are gonna work. The other 7 men, I don't want you guys going nowhere. I want you guys staying in our half, defending and making sure we concede no goals. The ultimate goal of our game is to not concede and to score 1. 1-0 win, excellent. Target achieved. You know, that's what he's going in there and saying. That's real fossil football. So, you know what, yeah? Like, we're going to see in it. Clearly, Ange turns people against that type of football. With Ange, you know, are you entertained? No. I wasn't entertained. I wasn't. I was not entertained. Was you? Oh, shit. I don't know. Kengiz, you let me know. You let me know. Horrible, bro. I want to link up some footy, then no one can talk smack about. No, see, I don't think that's you in particular, Goski. I don't know if you actually said. I don't know if you actually said that. You think the Rodgers goal should have been saved, but yeah, do you know what? Look, one day once we have enough subscribers, members, and all of that stuff, we may be able to get to like a little session together. The delinquents and versus the descendants. We do the delinquents versus the descendants. Do a little 5-a-side. I'll set it up. We only need like 20 man, 15 to 20 man to show up. But we're gonna have to do like a ticketing thing or something to make sure. Because that's the problem. Is a lot of people say they're gonna show up, but then they don't show up. So if someone pays for a ticket, then they'll show up. So we're gonna have to do something where we ticket it, and people can show up and they can have some fun, you know, and we can do some football content. We'll maybe shoot some of the content. I'll be on the sidelines doing some commentating. You guys can play, and then I'll get involved and play it a little bit or something. That sounds like a good idea. That does sound like a good idea, you know, to see how the fans or who of the watchers can actually play. I bet you. Man, I lost their mind, man. Man, I lost their mind. See, I hear it. See, the one thing I'm gonna say though, kudos. Nobody ever wanted to be right back. So tell us your real position, yeah? Because nobody grew up and said, "I want to be a fullback." So tell us your real position. You was a winger, or was you a centre back? You was either a centre back that got pushed out to the right back because they didn't trust you in the centre, or you was a winger that just wasn't that good going forward, so then they put you a bit further back. Or you could have been a midfielder that was just really good utility, man, and you ended up at right back. Because that was my thing. Was I was a midfielder for most of my career. I was a midfielder, to be fair. And I say career like I had a career. For most of my life, I should say, sorry. I was a midfielder. And then got a bit older, got a little bit less fit, and I just started to focus on, you know, my seeing the game. I'm focusing on. I was captain of my team, so you can see the game, see the pitch. What's the best position to not do as much running? And I was a holding midfielder anyway, so naturally defensively, I was more a defensive player, but I have the attacking side to my game. So I ended up at centre back. Well, I played centre mid, I played strike, I played all over the gaff, but clearly because I was a utility man, I wasn't that good apparently. If I'm using my own words, a master of none, a master of all. A master of none, but a jack of all. Whatever the fucking thing is. Jords Vic can't die, bro. He lands on the same spot where he jumped from. He goes nowhere now. You're going mad. Sean 442 Daesh will cook. Yeah, do you know what? He probably will. He actually will probably get quite a few wins with that team. If you put like what's his name? Not Igor Jesus. Yeah, Igor Jesus up top with Chris Wood. And then you go with like an Anderson and Sangare in the midfield. Like you just keep it a bit more basic. Get a double pivot with like a 4-2-2-2, I would say. Similar to what Unai Emery done against us, to be fair. That would probably work for him. But I know he's not about those hybrid formations and them things. Jords, do you play ball like you're dead trim? Well, I ain't got a trim. So, of course, it's not looking great right now. But I'm sure when I do get a trim, I'll be cleaning up real nice. The ladies be telling me, and I don't know if they could say the same about you, Nems, though, innit? Because you're at home all day, your phone in your hand. Yeah, like, don't think that you're going to be talking to much females. So, yeah, man, my trim might be dead, but hey, do you do anything else but comment on videos? I don't know. You know, like, hey, you tell me. You tell me. Any panel shows this week? Do you mean from my channel? Or do you mean on my own other channels? Because you know me, I'm around. I'm about. So I'll probably be on some panel shows, definitely. But I don't know if I'm going to be having one on my channel. We'll see what we can put together ultimately. But sounds lit. Well, yeah, man, it does. I was a failed winger. I hear it, kudos. I hear it, man. We've all failed in some. I was a failed striker as to how I got to centre mid in the first place. I was a failed striker. Then I was a DM that converted into a centre back. Just because I preferred to. So, but I was definitely a failed striker. And you can go. Do you know what? Yeah, if you want to go watch, I'm gonna show you. If you want to watch some of me playing football, it's not hard. Actually, I don't think I'm actually playing football in this video. Don't think I'm actually. Well, we're not playing football, but we're kicking football, so you can see sort of some stuff, what's going on. But don't worry, I'm gonna find a video for you. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. just so people can't even say nothing like, "Oh, Jords is hiding. Jords has got like." Don't worry, I'm gonna find the link and I'm gonna drop it in the chat. That's what I'm gonna do. Jordan was Eric Dyer. I hear it. Do you know what? Yeah, I would take that one because back in the day, when I was coming through, so I was coming through at the same age because Eric Dyer is probably like 5-6 years older than me. But when he first came to Spurs, was when I was like, I might have been 16, 17 when he first came to Spurs. I was like 15, 16. And he transitioned, and he started to play as a first teamer for Spurs. So when he was a DM, I was a DM. And then when I went to centre back, it was like, yeah, he was like the centre back for Pochettino as well. He was the third centre back. So you could say it. You could say that the early Pochettino, Eric Dyer days, facts. I would take that one. I probably was. We should play an NLD versus Hooks. We could do that, you know. We could do the Delinquents and Descendants versus the Village. That would be cold. We get the 5 delinquents. But the thing is, we'd have to do a session beforehand to know who the best delinquents are, because we're not going up against the Village and losing. There's no way we're going up against the Village and losing. That's just not running. So we're gonna, we could do that. We could do the Delinquents versus the Village. That could be gold. The women love Durag. Facts. The women love Durag. But Nems wouldn't know about that. Nems wouldn't know about that because, hey, I don't think he sees any woman. You know what I mean? Jules a goal. No. I can play goalkeeper though. On a 5-a-side thing, I could definitely play goalkeeper. George, you like to waffle only, right? Ignoring. What is the serious issue, Joe? You tell me what the serious issue is, and we can we could definitely discuss. I'm still trying to find this video for you guys real quick because people think I'm lying. Give me a second though. Give me a second. I'm almost there. I'm just scrolling back on FamZone because that's where it was uploaded. There we go. You can see foot golf. So if you want to see my technique, yeah, you just need to go to that link. Go to that link, favorite the video, go watch it back, and you can see the technique from me. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. But one thing I did want to discuss, now we've caught up with the chat and had a bit of back and forth. Yeah, I am a waffler. I do definitely waffle. But that's what we're here to do, innit? Waffle sometimes and add it in with a bit of chat, but also with a bit of knowledge and a bit of breakdown. No, what's AI, George? What are you on about? What's AI? The link? No, the link's not AI. That's FamZone TV. Go show some love to the man. But what I did want to talk about is there was a nice, interesting article that came out from who actually wrote the article, just so you guys, the Training Ground Guru. The Training Ground Guru. So Simon Austin, who works at the Training Ground Guru, spoke with Rob McKenzie, Spurs' new, I should say new, but he's not really new. I think it's been about a year or 2 years now, just before bro, you might have thrown me off with the chat. You might got to stop saying things that aren't shit. What's AI? I'm so baffed with what is AI. Like, what are you guys talking about? What's AI? I'm so baffed. What's 4916? Now I need to know what 4916 in that thing is now. You're from focus, man. You guys are fucking up my man got like, you're spreading me out too thin. Man got ADHD. So like when you start saying too much and I'm focusing on this and then I'm there and then I'm there and then I'm there, my attention span is cooked. It's cooked. The video and the link is AI. Man said it's AI. Oh, you might have see this is what I mean. Man are trying to cook me up. It's AI. Come on, man. 4916. What's that? Is that when I kicked it and ran? Don't kill me. Yeah, that one was howlers. I can't lie. The 4916, that was one of my worst shots. But if you actually watch the full video, if you give it some, you can skip to the bits where I'm shooting. You can see that you can see the technique, and if you want to hate, you want to hate. But shit, I know that I was doing well in it. But what I was talking about was the article between the Football Guru where they met up with Rob McKenzie, Spurs' head of scouting, to sort of discuss a bit more about how our transfer strategy has changed, how we've approached our recent transfer windows, and I suppose the future approach as to what we're going to be doing going forward. And I sort of put together a little summary, you could say, a little summary of the article itself, so you guys can have a better understanding of it. But just so you could see, here's a bit of a diagram to represent what Spurs' scouted team does look like currently, which is Rob McKenzie, as said, he's the head of scouting, along with Max Legaff, who's the first team scout for Germany. You have João Ferreira, who's our first team scout for Portugal. You have Alex Fraser, who is our chief scout for the UK. Giuseppe De Credico, who's our first team scout for Italy. And then Seb Tagizadeh, who is our first team scout for the UK, along with a few recruitment analysis and a scout coordinator in Jamie Bryan. So we've got quite a hefty, you could say, a big scouting team that have been put together. And with regards to this article itself, Rob McKenzie sort of highlights how Spurs' transfer strategy, especially over the last season, has changed, or on this summer transfer window, changed to reflect more of a going from a potential to a proven. So, what's going on here? See what's going on? It's got me back to the big screen. There we go. It went from to signing potential players to now signing proven players. Look who it is. Look who it is. Big up to Forest Fan TV. Big up to Wolfie every time. I hope you're enjoying that, Sean Dash. I haven't even dropped Wolfie a message as of yet because I know he just can't wait to see me. He can't wait to hear from me. Big up to Wolfie every time. But I hope you Forest fans are here to say, Jords, you was right. Yeah? Just come in here and let me know, Jords, you was right. Because what did I tell you guys when I first made that appearance on your show and said, yeah, Ange Ball, it's not great. You're going to lose a lot of games. You're going to be entertained, but it's not going to do that well for you. The system's not really going to make sense. You're going to have inverted fullbacks. You're going to be exposed at the back from one of the best defenses in the league to now the worst. The team battling for relegation. And how much better? How much better than going back to your roots? Going back to what you are as a club. Sean Dyche. Let me entertain you. I hope Sean Dyche entertains you, bruv. I hope Sean Dyche entertains you, bro. Enjoy that football. Fossil football for real. Man, I'm really playing fossil football. There's no more of that. Oh, do you know what? You know when they're in the change room and you're seeing them, man, they're dancing, they're vibes. You know more vibes. No more of that business in Sean Dyche's changing room, bruv. He wants to hear some Oasis, some Blue, and then on a nasty day, throw some Metallica on there. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to hear none of this Afro beats, Burner Boy or Burner Man rubbish. He don't want to hear Burner Man. He don't want to hear about from Whiz Boy. He don't want to know none of that stuff. Come on, man. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I need that one. I need that one. Big up to KJ in the building as well. But let's see what. Big up to the Forest Fan TV Raiders, though. Make sure you're subscribed, innit? I would appreciate if you can subscribe, whether you want to come in here and chat ugly. Which is it's a bit of a why, big grown men. I can see some of these guys calling another man ugly. I mean, shouldn't you be concerned with your own looks, or more importantly, a female's looks? Obviously, if you swing the other way, that's fine, but I don't, so I won't be commenting on. Yeah, the guy that needs a new pair of teeth. We're not going to comment on him, but it's fine. Like, it's totally fine. Because big up to everyone that came over here. Stop. Oh, yeah. Why am I doing comparisons with Saka right now? We're not in that. We're not in that space. there was a system. I don't know. I used to think the same thing. Is it a system? Is it this? Like, what are we doing here? I am an imposter. Leeds fan sent here by Wolfie. Sends me every bloody where. Big up to all box stuff. They're poor fans though. Ask Villa. Yeah, I mean, you can ask Villa. They're above you on the table. Or a team that's playing Europa League that actually deserve to play Europa League. Maybe you should ask them. And Spuds couldn't even sign Morgan Gibbs White. I don't think you can even sign a dentist, mate. But hey, we're all trying. We are all trying. Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to whip Frank's ass in December. Do you know, I can't wait for that game because now this just makes for an even better game. It makes for an even better game. Like, we're just going to spank you. You know those one? Going to put you over the spank. Bend over my knee and let me give you a little spank. Yeah, like, that's what's going to happen. Forest swings both ways. Men and the championship. Like, shit. You look like a Greek woman. I'm just going to swiftly move on from that one. Jords, I ain't beefing no one. I ain't beefing. I just swiftly just swiftly let them know. We have Walter Marder. Oh, he's a Newcastle fan. Even better. Our Newcastle are going to finish above us. Who knows? We'll see. Walter Marder's good though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna share him. I actually do like him. But before you guys rudely interrupted, or I should say nicely interrupted, because there's no rude interruptions from a raid. Big up to everyone that came over from the raid. Likes real quick, just to do some housekeeping. What are the likes on people? I ain't seen nobody run up the likes like that. We're currently on 23 likes. Can we get up to 50? Can we get up to 50? What happened to what does Wolfie do? We always win. You won, Paul. You won. At least you're upbeat and you have any subscriber. Big up, man. I always try to be upbeat off a win, off a loss. I just try to bring the energy and the vibes, man. But as I was saying, onto some of Spurs' transfer strategy. Rob McKenzie highlighted. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, we're gonna, because I know we're here to, it's Champions League. Let's talk about Champions League. I'll make a separate video on a bit of a breakdown on the Robert McKenzie piece, how Spurs' transfer strategy has changed and so on and so forth. So we'll get on to some of that stuff. But let's focus on the Champions League, a place where many of our joiners, people from Forest Fan TV, can only wish to play. And so obviously some of these other fans, Villa, Newcastle, can only sorry, not Newcastle, I meant to say Leeds. Shit. Meant to say Leeds, can only wish. But Champions League on the route to winning. Let's talk about it. Monaco tomorrow. We have a visit for the team that is currently sitting 7th in their league, 14 points from 8 games, same as us from that turnout. With regards to their Champions League fixtures, they have been, they've been pretty decent. They had a draw with Man City at home in their last game. Prior to that, they got smacked, absolutely spanked away from home to Club Brugge. So they're a team that have been a bit up and down in their last couple performances. In between that, since the last Champions League game, have only picked up 2 points in consecutive draws. Now, with regards to their team, we are going to be going up against a player which we were heavily interested in all summer in Magnus Akalush. Many people would have, if you watched my videos in the transfer window, would have heard a bit about him, what he's got. Yo, 2 seconds. My cat is going. Going mad. Yo. Going mad. He's going mad. Ghost is going crazy right now. We had to just calm him down for a second. But yeah, so they got Magnus Akalush. That's a problem. Away from that, I know a lot of people have been expecting the appearance of the man, the myth, the legend at this point. Man like PP Paul Pogba, but he apparently is still not match fit after not being not being allowed to play football for a few years. Has come back, had a contract with them, but has made no appearances. I don't know whether this contract was made because, let's be honest, it would probably be smart from a French team to go out there, sign Paul Pogba to go sell jerseys. Because let's have it right, Paul Pogba can sell probably £100 million in jerseys himself. He's just that type of player. He's a name, a household name, a football legend to some, but someone that a lot of people have looked up to, especially if you've been a football watcher for the last 20 years or so. So he's someone who will just sell a lot of shirts. So it makes sense for them to sign him, even if he's not going to play. But he hasn't played no football. He's not someone that we're going to be seeing in this game. Ansu Fati is a player who we've been seeing at Brighton more recently, across the last season or so, or I think it was maybe 2 seasons ago now, because it was 23 to 24 when they had Robert De Zerbi that he was playing there when they're playing Europa League, but didn't really have a good time. Like he was pretty decent at times, he didn't get a goal. I don't actually recall Ansu Fati scoring a goal for Brighton, not in the Premier League anyway. So I mean, he was okay. But for the Ansu Fati that we know, the guy that was given Messi's number, the guy that was supposed to be the next big winger, pretty much what Yamal is now was supposed to be Ansu Fati. He's not that player. So he's someone that I guess we have to look out for still, because at this moment in time, he's actually in form. 5 goals in his 4 games in Liga On, and 1 goal in the 2 games so far in the Champions League. He's someone who can be a problem, someone who creates a lot of issues down on that left-hand side, and especially when he's going to be going 1v1 with Pedro Porro, you can imagine he's probably going to get the better of him at times. So he's going to be a problem. And then also, we're also up against someone who used to play for our former rivals in Balogun, a player who, again, similar to Ansu Fati, had a lot of hype surrounding him. In his younger years, probably again 2 or 3 seasons ago now. I remember him playing he played in Liga On. He played in Liga On. I think it might have been for Lille. Or maybe another team. Reims, yes, because he played under Will Still. So he played there, had a really, really strong season, but has since just never really replicated what he done. He done like 18 goals that year. And again, so far this season got 2 goals. Last season only scored 4, and the season before that scored 7. So he's not someone who you have to really be afraid of up front. And let's have it right. He's a national of the USA. Yeah, man plays for USA. Yeah, Arsa. He plays for Ars national team. So we know what to expect from them, man. He's not dangerous up top. So look, to overall give you a bit of a overall thought about Monaco as a team, they aren't that good. They just aren't that good. They have a few players that are dangerous. They have a few players that could hurt you and kill you. BRF as well. I think somebody said in the chat somewhere. Fati, BRF, and Akalush is cold Jords. Yeah, so they have a few players. Like BRF is all right. Fati's decent. Akalush is dangerous. So they have good players. But ultimately, away from that, they're not a great footballing team. Now, they are a team that managed to get a draw with Manchester City. Did they come from 2 goals behind? No, they just equalized and they got a very last minute penalty. So they were very lucky to get that draw. But because we are going away from home to a stadium that is just, I saw big up to Luke Mancy. Is it Luke? I think that's his name, Luke. Yeah, we've done a shoot recently together, so I think that's his name. I may have forgot, but I saw his TikTok. And he sort of explained about how bad the getting to the stadium is, how bad inside the stadium it is. It's falling apart and stuff. So it's one of those away trips that are a bit rough, but away from the actual stadium itself, it's a beautiful city. So I think Spurs are only going to be there for the night. It's a very quick trip, or the day. Sorry. So it's a fairly quick one. It's not like we have to travel where we was in Europa League and we're going up to fucking. I mean, we went to Norway as well in the Champions League, but you know what I mean. We're not doing no mad long trips to the far east of Europe. We're just going to France, so it's just around the corner. And we should be able to get the job done here. Whether it's away from home, technically we actually have a better away from home record at the moment this season. Don't really know why. I think Thomas Frank also touched on it in his press conference. Not too sure why, because so far this season we lost to Bournemouth, lost to Aston Villa, dropped points at Wolves, and we beat Burnley. Now, to win one of your 4 home games isn't good enough. It's just not good enough, and there's no excuse we can make. The other home game that we did win, or sorry, the other 2 home games we did win were in the Cups, Villarreal, which wasn't a pretty performance, and Doncaster, which was an expected game. So I'm a bit worried about this game simply because it's away from home, it's Champions League, it's middle of the week, and our last performances haven't necessarily looked good, but it's coming up against a team who we could probably look to we can look to take advantage of them not having Eric Dyer in their team, and to take advantage of them just not being a great footballing side with too much attacking threat. But let me come to the chat. Wolfie's cat just jumped through the bathroom. Well, I hope that it jumped inside the house through the bathroom window, not the other wing. No, the cat had food, Letty. That's the thing. I feed my cat when I wake up, because that's the first thing they do. They're just going mad. Tariq tried to get Ghost. Yeah, bro. Tariq must be lurking around my yard because Ghost is going crazy. Yeah, he is. He is having a good season right now. So you aren't lying about that. Yeah, I did mean. Don't you mean a lot? Yeah, Simmons had a lot of hype. Simmons has had a lot of hype his whole career, and I think at the moment he's obviously not lived up to the hype so far in the Premier League. But give him some time, and I think he'll settle in. I think again, it's only 10 games, so we'll see him come to what's the word I'm looking for? He's gonna find his feet. Let's just say that he's gonna find his feet in the Premier League real soon. So yeah, I think that's not gonna be a problem. Big up to all boxed up for the super chat. Come on. Just because, hey, if you want to send a super chat just because, we appreciate you, my dog. I appreciate you, my dog, every single time. If you do want to send in some other chats, feel free to. The chat, no, I do tend to get around to most chats anyway. Big up to Ashley that is in the building. Ashley, aka Tommy, Ashley, aka Samuel, aka whatever fucking other name you come up with. But big up to you, my bro. It's good to have the real and the number one king fun warrior in here. So if you guys have got any chat, make sure you send it Ashley's way, because he has a lot of opinions. Tony is exhibiting symptoms I have seen before. It's a side effect of being a long time spud. Brain turns to mash. Yeah. Wesley's probably right about he's definitely having some side effects. He's definitely having some side effects. We could do with bro. I can't wait for Kulusevski to come back. Can't wait for Kulusevski to come back. I'm not gonna lie. Kulusevski is needed. Like that player, the quality that he brings, the ability to just drive. We could potentially play with Kulusevski in the 8. You go Kulusevski in the 8, play Xavi in the 10. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm open to experimenting with that, because Kulusevski good defensively. He does give away quite a bit of fouls. I'm not gonna lie, but he's good defensively. So I would love to have Kulusevski back in the 8. We are losing to Monaco, bruv. Just don't watch. Chill with your fam and friends. Well, I'm going to be chilling with my family and friends and watching at the same time. That's what I like to do on a Champions League night. But hey, everyone do what they want. Yeah, if Champions League playoffs are brutal, the playoffs are brutal, and that's why I do not want to be going into the playoff rounds. But we might do, so we're gonna have to just make sure we pick up some wins and make sure we don't get ourselves in a situation where we have to play those playoffs. Big up to Gunnar K for telling you guys to smash the likes, because we ain't even on 50 likes yet. We just need 12 more likes to 50. Can we get to 50 likes? Would appreciate it. Also, if you guys do want to show some extra support the same way that All Boxed Up did, but don't want to do it through YouTube, you can scan right here this QR code. I know you can barely see it, but there is a QR code on screen. I need to get a little white box around it so you guys can actually see it. But if you guys go scan this QR code, you can buy me a new coffee, because we're out of coffee. So you can buy me a coffee, buy me a drink. Feel free to do so. The streets need a watch along, Wesley. I know. I've literally been telling everyone I want to do a watch along, but the way that they're crashing right now, I have to get a PC. So it might be the new year till we start doing watch alongs. because just need a new setup. I need a new setup, new PC, because it's just my laptop doesn't run at a good enough speed to have OBS open, and then running everything else. Now, I'm going to try get a new Ethernet cable to see if it could be that, because it generally could just be the Ethernet cable shit and it's not running the speed at a good speed, so slowing it down. But if that's not the problem, then there's no solution until I get a new PC, which is unfortunate because I would like to do some watch alongs. They are fun. They are a bit long. I'm not going to lie, be sorry, they are draining as fuck, because watch alongs can be 3 hours long. So they can drain you and drain all the energy I have, especially if we lose. Like the rest of my evening, I just feel pissed off. There's no other way around it. I can't lie. The rest of the evening, after a watch long of losing, you just feel pissed the fuck off, bro. Like I'm just sat there, roll me a spliff. You know, like I need let me roll something up. Like let me put myself in a Spurs pack. You know what I mean? Like it just gets dark after a loss. But my East London brother, good morning. Big up to the offside trap with Grande. Big up to you, man. Big up to the East London people inside the house as well, every single time, man. Look, Tony is a long-term survivor of the Ange Postecoglou fact. I think he is Ange. Like he started to become Ange. You know when they say become one with the problem. There is no problem. You are the problem. That is Tony. That he is the problem. He's become the one with the problem. The streets need a watch long, man. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Run the likes. Yeah, let's run the likes, people. What I am gonna do is I'm going to see who else is live. Because we'll do a proper preview tomorrow of the game. We'll do predicted lineups, all of that stuff. Go into a bit more detail regarding Monaco, styles of play. You know, a real pre-match build-up. So we'll do that one tomorrow. Look out for that preview. Probably going to be live same time again tomorrow, 10 a.m. That's the time we're going to try go live most days in the week. So look out for the lives. The Spurs at the moment, 10 a.m. people. That's the time we're going to be going with. And then away from that, just trying to think, is there anything else coming up? Do I have any lives today? I don't think I have any lives today, people. I don't think I have any lives today. So there's nothing to look out for on the live side of things. And then, yeah, away from that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly see who's live. We got KG live. Is that Fams on live? You know what? KG's live. I'll send you guys over to KG. Can you guys go raid up KG with a DRD raid? Let him know that you come over from the boy Durag Diaries. Yeah, man. Look, until tomorrow, 10 a.m., we're gonna be live every day at 10 a.m. Every day, 10 a.m. Your place to be is right here. So Spurs at the moment will be then. And I got glad I got sent to your channel in press. Big up to All Boxed Up, man. I'm glad to have you here. Make sure you're back every morning, 10 a.m. We will be there. And yes, DRD raid over on KG. Let him know. And yeah, look, until tomorrow, 10 a.m. We're back.